First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
You know, one of my favorite, I love jingles, radio jingles. I love a good, well-produced radio jingle, like many of the local ones that we do around here that are done by just local people. Brilliant, I always say. Here's one of my favorites.
The Whitney, the Jim Dandy, the Alabama, the Travers, the Hopeful, and now the Delaware Handicap. 9 races a day, every day except Tuesday. The richest, the fastest, the best from start to finish. Saratoga, still the August place to be.
I got to tell you, I pulled that off of an old VHS tape, you can tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
That was from 1982, the jingle that was used by Saratoga Raceway. You'll find plenty of people out there. If you're PETA, you're protesting Saratoga, right? It's inhumane what they do to those horses.
Didn't they also have the theme for a while? Saratoga.
Yes, it's a variation, Andrew.
But what you played was 40 years ago. 40
Hard to believe that.
Years ago.
It is crazy. It was my year of graduation from high school. Anyway, I got to tell you that Saratoga Raceway opens today.
Oh.
So the season gets underway in Saratoga. After last year, and people are going to be really excited to get out there. And the Travers, of course, will be coming up down the road here.
And Bob Baffert will be allowed at Saratoga.
In New York, yeah. That was an interesting story there. And this is based solely, I guess, on the fact that he was not given the opportunity to defend himself.
Right.
So he was not given due process, and therefore the judge
How
has
do they
ruled
not
that
know this?
They got to be back. I don't know.
It's almost like they did him a favor. Hey, Bob, by the way, you're suspended, can't come to any of the tracks.
That covers
Thank
us.
you.
Now you appeal it, and you're going to be just fine.
Yep.
I don't know. A couple in Georgia found 18 snakes under their bed.
Oh.
Now, they were just garter snakes, but still, they were multiplying under the bed. 18 snakes. Here's the wife talking about it with the environmental education person, Camilla Sherman, from their Center for Water Sciences. Here is the audio. Listen to this.
Before going to bed, I spotted what I thought was a piece of fuzz on the floor, and I went to reach for it, and it moved. And then a second later, another piece moved, and I began hollering for my husband, "We have snakes."
If you have a mouse problem, the snakes are going to try to come and help you with that. If you give them a way out, they're going to take it. They're not going to chase you.
All right, don't hurt the snakes. Don't hurt the snakes. You know that's going to be going on there. I'll tell you something. We came back after a week being away to find that we had another infestation of these pantry moths.
Oh, you're kidding
terrible.
me.
Wait till you look at the picture on my on the website, WIBX950.com. There's a picture of it. This is by the way, it's the granola is in an $18 airtight jar container that we purchased over at Home Goods because we had the last time we had this problem. We put everything in containers. Those bugs got into the container and made a home out of the granola. There must be 100 of them in that granola container.
Gosh.
It's unbelievable.
So, Tom
and they multiply and multiply. It is just the most difficult thing to get rid of. We'll get to this coming up because it is the most pressing story in the world. But Rachel Sutherland is standing by and has news on something as simple and trivial as the president. But in my world, these pantry moths are the epic story of the day. But good morning, Rachel.
They're called Indian meal moths.
Yes, you're right.
And I know about them because, yes, they're awful.
And,
you might have to call in the experts.
It's funny because I had a friend of ours, Paul, tell me that, once you get them, you will almost never be able to get rid of them. And
I eventually did.
You did.
You just clear out your pantry. Don't put stuff in there. You have to cover up everything.
Everything.
You have to,
yeah.
Everything.
And what's interesting is we did that over the winter, cleaned the whole thing out, sterilized Lysol and Clorox and all that stuff, and then bought all the containers and put everything in. But what we didn't know is sometimes you bring in granola from maybe you went to a farmer's market or something, and sometimes you're bringing it in that it already has maybe the eggs in. Yeah,
that's how you get them in the first place.
That's how you get them.
Stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's not that you have a dirty home. I don't think our home is dirty.
No, they just show up.
Yeah, man. Okay, Rachel, and then pesky Joe Biden. What do we know here this morning?
Well, the president went over to meet with the Senate Democratic Caucus, and they talked about infrastructure primarily. It was a closed-door meeting, but we understand that the president says that they believe they're making progress on this, and we know it's working on two tracks. The first part, about $1 trillion of spending that's bipartisan, would go through first, and then the second is that budget reconciliation package, $3.5 trillion, that really encompasses the president's priorities. It would expand Medicare, that free community college, free kindergarten. The Republicans are really shivering over this amount of spending. In fact, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has said that this is the wrong time to do this, citing inflation right now. Senator Mitt Romney has said that he believes his Democratic colleagues have lost their bearings on this kind of spending. And the big question is, we have the top line of spending, but we don't know how it's going to be allocated, which programs. We don't have the legislative text, so it's hard to evaluate it.
You know, I heard one state legislator say here that what we should do is, if we're going to be giving out incentive money, and I know that's not what this is, but that's part of what's keeping people at home. Incentives and spending this kind of money as an incentive to get people to go back to work might be a far more productive means going forward if we're going to spend a lot of money on the economy.
Well, sure. And I know that a lot of states have already leaned back or pulled back that extra $300 a month. And I think ultimately getting people back to work is important, but the idea of investing in what the president wants to do, investing in this long-term kind of human infrastructure. Yeah. If they do push it through on budget reconciliation, and then the makeup of the Senate changes after the midterms, it would be in danger of being rolled back. So it would behoove both sides to work together on this.
And very interesting too that Joe Biden himself is not doesn't seem to be a fan of going down this road yet. I think he's getting pressure from the left where he's appeasing them, and Manchin so far has not budged. I'm not sure that he can be successful, even though he's rolled this out and tried to inspire Democrats.
Yeah, Manchin said in the past that he would go for something more like in the ballpark of $1.5 to $2 trillion. We don't know exactly where he stands right now, but it would only take one vote to just derail the whole thing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's so difficult to get rid of pantry moths. We have so many big... I
moved. I didn't move because of the moths. But they didn't follow me.
They didn't follow you. All right, good for you. Okay, Rachel, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. All right, Rachel Sutherland from Fox News.
I have a mosquito bite on my arm here, and it's warm. It's very warm to the touch. But every time you mention pantry moth, I have to scratch it.
It does make you skeeve out just a little bit, right? Because here's how it works. They lay tiny eggs that are not visible to the human eye, which then turn into larvae, which then begin to crawl and nest. They then nest in this what looks almost like a dust ball in a corner or on the ceiling or maybe up under a lid or inside your granola container that's supposed to be airtight but isn't. These Indian mealworms are able to they're able to eat through. Like, for instance, if you have a bag of potato chips, they can eat through the bag.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. They're amazingly... And here's the good news. It's not like they're mice and carry disease. You could eat them, and it's not going to hurt you. It's going to make you sick to your stomach. It's going to make Monaski scratch. But it's... So my wife is a big granola person. She has her yogurt and granola and all of that stuff. And my guess is that when she bought it, she purchased something that already had the moths' eggs were already in there.
I remember back when this problem was beginning, Wayne had said something similar that he believes it probably came from wherever you purchased it from.
I know, and they just made a trip there. So I had said that maybe.
Oh, yeah. But Tom in
maybe that
Rome
has
said,
something to do with it.
and I know you think you've done this before, Bill, store any type of grains and flour in your fridge. Word to the wise, never buy anything in bulk that isn't pre-sealed. I had same problem a few years back. Since I started doing this, have not seen any.
You know, it's interesting. You can store your flour. I didn't even know this, but not just in the fridge. You can put flour in the freezer. Good place to store it, as opposed to storing it in your pantry. And it doesn't change the. You can still make bread or cake with it, whatever you're doing. But yeah, I think that's what we've taken. We're taking the next step. So keep in mind, I bought these traps, which Paul Buckley's the one that said, "Good luck, because once you get them, they are very difficult to get rid of." But they had these traps over at the hardware store. Got those, and thought we had it under control, but we were gone for a week, so we didn't see there was a buildup.
All right, you got to stop talking about.
Okay,
this, I'm itching all over the place.
That trap though is Black Flag. Is that?
It is. Yeah.
Is that the place? Is Fountainhead Group?
Yeah, Black Flag is.
I don't think they make those.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Remember that Fountainhead, I'm pretty sure, is their whole thing is the canisters that actually dispense the pesticide, or fire hydrants and that sort of thing is where it all came from early on, right here in New York Mills. They also make the unit that gets rid of mosquitoes, and it's a fogging unit where I have one. It works really well. You lay that thing out before you're having a get together, and the fog and the smoke clears out the mosquitoes. Works really.
Meanwhile,
well.
I'm scratching so hard over here, I'm starting to draw blood.
Sorry about that. Let's see. How about there's a new survey out. This will be something that'll take your mind off it. Showing the most popular ice cream treat in every state. And we're talking about not at Cookies or Bonomo's or one of those places where you go for your ice cream. This, we're talking about the trucks that go in your neighborhood.
Okay.
Which I haven't seen many or heard many this year. I don't know why.
I have not seen one this year.
Anyway, the survey out, the most popular ice cream truck treat in every state is what? Do you have a favorite? In New York, it's the SpongeBob ice cream.
I was going
pop.
to say that.
Yeah.
Really?
Which normally is so overly frozen, it'll break your teeth trying to get into it.
That ice cream is actually another viral TikTok thing. There's a lot of accounts that their whole
The
shtick,
SpongeBob?
is that they try to find a perfect one where the eyes, the mouth, where it actually looks like what's
correct.
What's
Versus what happens on those is the eyes tend to bleed. The coloring tends to get into the face of SpongeBob. Or it's, the what is it, like a little gumball or something? I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I think the eyes are like
candy.
gumballs, yeah.
Or it's, it almost looks cross-eyed a little bit because of the way it's melted or something. I don't know.
And speaking of the frozen, if you ever try to have the gumball eyeballs, they'll crack your teeth too.
They will. I think personally, my favorite is the Choco Taco.
That's good.
The chocolate taco is really good. And the other one that I like, there's two of them. There's the chocolate version and the strawberry version that have the
little crumbled
crunch.
Yeah,
out
they're
there.
like, what are they, shortcakes? They call them?
Strawberry shortcake type things.
That's mine.
Those are my three favorite of all. Cause you can't run and run that truck down without buying something for yourself, right?
I need. I can always, of course, I always think of the Eddie Murphy delirious bit about the ice cream truck, but the chocolate chip cookie that makes the sandwich, the ice cream sandwich with the chocolate chips on the side.
No,
the cookie which ones? Those are my favorite.
Yeah, I'm a Biggie Iggy fan. I like an ice cream sandwich that has a good 45 grams of fat. So let's see here, Angela. What did you send me? You sent me a movie. What is that?
That is for Kyle.
Okay, later on this morning.
Yep.
We'll get to that. Jeff says, I know the state brought in a private company to decide when he will retire from the U.S. Supreme Court, despite pressure by some liberal groups. No, I'm combining two stories. Sorry about that. Easy way to get rid of those pantry moths. All you need to do is burn down your house. It's probably the only way. And Donna says, I'm with Jeff. Please stop. Please stop. You're making me itch. So
you could just fill in your pantry, just...
I guess we could.
Close it off.
Be aware of all of that. I got to take a break, though. One more survey before I break. It says 40% of Americans would not do this because they don't feel safe. And it's currently something that's in the news. Would you do it? We'll come back with it in just a second.
This podcast is sponsored by Ramp. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/easy. Ramp.com/easy. RAMP.com/easy.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.